Fenton Molotsi. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm 28. I turned 29 in a couple of days, actually. And yeah, that's me. I've probably been trading for like properly. I first discovered this trading, I think in 2015, 16, but only really got consistent and got into it consistently maybe 2017, 18, where you start to make a bit of money. You making money. I think this was years ago. I had like, sometimes you would have, well, back in the day, I had like $500 or $1,000, but then you realize that's not enough to make money on it, whatever. So I went on Google and I typed in funding for Forex traders. And then for like back then in 2017, I think there were futures, and I think there was FTMO, I think. Yeah, there were those future ones, Top Step and FTMO. Yeah. That's how I found it. I found out about it. And then yeah, I think I found out about it, I think on Twitter, or while I was, yeah, because they were up there with like FTMO. So you found them on Twitter, guys just talking like, oh, I use this prop firm and I use that one. Okay, initially when I first got with TFT, I had the standard. I think that was 10K. Then I got another one that was 5. I think that was is a dragon. I think it was the dragon. It's the 3-step. I passed that. And then the 10K, I had it for like a year or whatever. I got scaled up. I withdrew. I think I had that for a couple of months actually before the relaunch, obviously. And it was something like I was very consistent. I think I would make four to $500 withdraw consistently. I think for me it was just the consistent part. So if I felt like I made enough, like over $10,000, like 3% is enough. So $300 or $400 is enough. If I did make 6, that was great. But I usually had a controlling aspect. So I'm like, okay, $300 is great. 400 is fine. 5 is also great. So around $300 to $500, which is 3 to 5%. Those are where I wouldn't try and go for like 20% or 30%. And I would control risk as well. Yeah, I've been getting, I think, after the relaunch, I got another payout. But even before that, I've been getting payouts consistently. So like I said, I would then just target, if I have a target, like I make 300-400, I'm good. I would have a request and it would be processed. I think 5 or 6. I don't currently remember. So 5 or 6, some would be like 300-400. I think another would be like 600-500, somewhere there. After the relaunch, I think I've had one of 10,000. I think it was like $600. No, I used the same. I like crypto. It's convenient and it was quick. To be honest, it really was. I think I had the standard 10K and excuse me. Usually they say it takes 3 days. I think I got it in 2 days or a day and a half. Yeah, around there. Crypto direct. I think it was USDT. Nice. Directly to my wallet. Yeah, but I got mine really quickly. Like I can't even. But I don't know if it's possible, but if TFT got their own, like, those prepaid cards where maybe you could withdraw directly to the prepaid card, maybe a TFT prepaid card, that would be very great. I mean, I would love that. Like a virtual digital card. Maybe if you're not in a specific country they deliver to, maybe you can add the card to Apple Pay or Google Play where you transfer your withdrawal to that specific card. I think that would be great. Yeah, because I also think, I don't know, but sometimes as a trader, you don't want to withdraw your profit. You just want to buy another account. So I'd love for TFT maybe to allow us to take the profit from our account and directly buy an account without having to withdraw it to our own wallet. And then, yeah, I would suggest maybe if you guys can make it profitable. Like let's say I have like $1,000 in profit, then I can just tell support or whatever that can they just take I'd like to buy maybe a $200,000 standard or Night Pro. Can I use my profit to buy the account? I think that would be super great because it allows us to stack up on accounts instead of just withdrawing and wasting the money. Ideally, it's risk management and not being emotional and journaling. So, for example, when I say risk management, I think people really don't fully explain what they mean by risk management is ideally, if I start off on $100,000 account and I risk 1%, which is $1,000, and I experience a loss, I would then halve my risk and risk $500. If that trade doesn't pan out, and I've given myself two chances, I walk away, close your laptop or your phone and walk away. Discipline, being emotional revenge trading is not the ability of refusing to accept your loss. Journaling, writing things down, your risk, how much you're down by. I think that's genuinely helped me. I journal a lot. Of late, I haven't, and it's led to me losing a lot of capital. And sometimes you lose accounts because you don't journal and see where you are, whatever. And over-risking is generally the downfall of all of us because you believe you can't get the trade wrong, which I think is completely unreasonable. You need to be able to understand that you'll take a loss. And that's okay. Everyone loses money in the market, even the best of the best. Back testing, I think, is key, which is something I didn't do before, but now I do. I view whatever on weekends, regardless, although you must stay away from the market from time to time. But I think taking a break sometimes helps. That's what sometimes I feel like I don't have to be on the charts every day. Sometimes I walk away. Sometimes I work until Wednesday. Then I'm like, I'm done for the week. So that's what's helped me, being able to take a break and risk management, journaling, walk away and not trying to when it comes to money, you'll always be emotional. So yeah, for me, that's it. That's genuinely it. Okay, so I'll say something like this. Even now, sometimes I get emotional in the sense that I'm trying to pass this challenge. I'm trying to make money. You get emotional, but in that moment, you need to catch yourself and saying, I'm being emotional and I need to step back, close my laptop and walk away. So what I do is I watch a lot of podcasts of like popular traders, and I watch popular podcasts. And the biggest thing I've noticed is discipline. You're not going to make money every day. The market doesn't reward you like a 9 to 5. So an A+ setup is something you have to be patient, consistently reading, doing research, listening to. So what I do is even while I'm trading, I'd listen to Bloomberg in the background or watch it or whatever. So I know what market sentiment is. And yeah, that would be it for me. I think before the relaunch, before that, I don't think I had any issues. Let me see. Did I ever struggle with anything? No, maybe I felt, but it was a standard account. Maybe I felt like sometimes it took too long to process the payout. This was pre-launch, but because it was 3 days, but with the relaunch, I got my money almost way quicker than I had ever received it before. That's the only issue I've had. And then I don't even think that's a real issue. It does say standard takes 3 days. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything else, to be honest. I'm completely happy with TFT, to be honest. I've noticed them doing way more. I'll talk about myself because I have friends who are in the market as well. And I had a friend of mine, we were talking, I think 2 days ago. He's like, what do you love about TFT? And I was like, bro, I haven't personally, even before the relaunch, I got my payout, and he was like, he's not certain and whatever. And I would say, initially when I got the coupon, I wasn't sure, but I was just like, hey, let me just try it. And you know what, got my payout. And from there on, I'm busy with another challenge right now. So with TFT, I genuinely feel like since they relaunch, I think they've put in a lot of effort and they don't take their clientele for granted anymore, because I've seen on the prop firm review sites and everything, people are they giving it a chance. You know what I mean? They are saying everybody messes up. There's mistakes that happen and the comeback, a setback, I mean, but they back. We get paid. I mean, there's new challenges. They explain better. I mean, whenever I have an issue, I just go to the general chat on Discord and I'm generally helped quick. Sometimes the moderator would say, oh, DM me, I can help you with this or whatever. So TFT as a company showing us that they're ready to really make a huge comeback. And as one of the people who have been behind TFT and I've had accounts in my mind, you wouldn't put your money in something that you know is a loss. So I see them working for their clients and their traders. I've been impressed. I wouldn't even lie. In terms of the coupon, I don't, okay, in terms of the coupons, I would say, I think guys are scared to try, even if, because I was talking to a friend of mine, he's waiting on the six-figure, I think the $100,000 coupon to get to him. So I think guys are not sure, but I think the biggest thing is paying out. Paying out convinces traders that you're still legit, because outside of paying out, I mean, people don't believe anything until they see the money in their bank account or in their wallet, whatever. So in terms of the coupons, allow people to try them out and pay out. I think paying out is a huge thing in the community. I mean, denial of payouts is generally what sets most prop firms back. As soon as you get one trader who has a bad experience, gets a payout denial, it sets a firm back. So even if they break rules, like set out, and I generally think once you give someone a funded account, maybe send them rules as well with like, okay, you fund it now, but here are the rules for a funded. Please read through them. So with the login details, send them the rules as well. Like, okay, you have a night pro. These are the rules. Please look at them, follow them, or maybe have a chat. Like with this interview, maybe I know you can't do it with everyone, but maybe with funded traders, try and have someone interview them from support, ask them if they have any questions. That takes away you guys didn't tell me this before, and they can ask actual questions, because sometimes people don't even read that. So maybe have an interviewing process with a funded trader. I don't know, maybe that would help a great deal. I do, well, let's see. I do interact with TFT, like of late, like I do right now. Like they would say, maybe there's a giveaway, I would interact there. If they say post this emoji, I would to interact. So yeah, I would. It depends, because the only way I've interacted with TFT was when they have giveaways. And I think they posted that they had paid out, when they had posted my certificate or my payment thing, I think I engaged there. But yeah, in terms of engagement, I think, yeah, I generally would engage with TFT. My biggest challenge is something I'm dealing with that right now, actually, is capital. Trying to get to seven figures. People don't realize how mentally draining or killing it is when you join a firm or they shut down, or it mentally takes away that. For me, like, it's growing capital. For me, that will always be this. And yeah, and emotions, walking away, making it all about the money. I think that's one of the biggest things, I think once I switch to percentages, it gets better, but money plays a huge role. But I think for me, capital has been the biggest thing in my trading journey. Okay, so in terms of my technique, I use a very popular, I'd say, technique, in the sense that I use ICT, but I obviously edit some stuff out. Some things I just find unnecessary. And sometimes I add indicators like moving averages. I know in the ICT strategy, they say no indicators or whatever, but I add ICT and I mix it with indicators like simple moving averages and things like that. And then in terms of my risk management, I risk like 1%, then I would cut it 0.25%, well, 0.5%, then I would break it in half. So every time I take a loss, I risk half of my previous lot size. I think it was when I first started, would I say a mentor, or I went to a seminar where a guy was explaining risk management, and he explained, well, he was explaining like if like a 1 to 3 ratio. So he was like, you risk 1%, you make three. And then when you get your three, then you would risk 2%. So if you lose the 2%, you'd still be 1% up. So if I let's say if I risk 1% and I make 3%, then the next trade I lose 2%, then I'm still 1% up. So then I could risk 0.5%. If I lose that trade, I would still be 0.5% up. So that's how I learned it. So you do it the opposite. You risk 1%. Let's say I start off with $100,000. I risk 1%. I lose that. Then I would cut my risk into half. But I guess people are emotional, so they double up on the risk. The problem is doubling up on the risk that causes you to blow accounts, challenges, even personal funds. I feel like that's it. That's the cause of most guys' downfall, to be honest. Over risking. If I lose with 1% and then I increase the risk to maybe 3% and I lose that, I'm already 4% down. Instead of if I risk 1% and I risk 0.5%, then even if I'm down, I'm only 1.5% down. Okay, I could have sometimes, for example, if I lose, like initially, I've noticed sometimes on a Monday, I'm excited to get back, and I usually lose on Monday. I usually lose on Mondays, and then I'm able to, if I make back the loss I made on Monday on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday I also up, I take a break after that. If I've lost like 2 to 3% in a week, I usually take a break. I walk away. I would take maybe a week or two as a break to recover, see what I did wrong off that initial trade, and then start over. I'd come back, risking very little, coming back, and trying to build my confidence. Because if you suffer like a huge loss, your confidence takes a huge beating, and you struggle to get back. You're scared to execute, and that's when you know, like, okay, you need to build back slowly but surely. The learning curve was, there's always new strategies and there's always hype about this one works, this one. There's always so much information, there's so much information and strategy hopping and whatever. I genuinely feel if something comes out and it's popular, I would learn it, see whatever, and take bits of it and incorporate it, not completely change my strategy. Strategy hopping, I think, is super dangerous. You can't build consistency because you don't know what actually works. So for me, even if something new comes out, I'd listen to it, see whatever, research, see what happens, and then move on from there. So it's strategy hopping and also over risking. I think over risking too much. Those are the two things. Yeah, and the ability to not accept that you can end off a day with a loss. Not every day is a win day. Yeah, that's it for me. For one, this is not a get rich quick scheme. I promise you that. You also start small. Genuinely start small. Even with a 5K account, see if you can master that. Also, don't start spending the money in your head. Like if I pass this challenge and I make 10%, that will be $10,000 on a 100K account. I'm going to buy a new watch. Start small. Start small. And I also like to say, save your money, invest back into your trading. So if you get a payout of $600, buy another account, diversify. Risk management is key. Don't go all in on one trade and in hopes of you're gonna blow constantly. You're gonna spend large amounts of money and in the hopes of trying to make it all back with one challenge. No, be slow. And whatever. There's times I've spent 6 months on a 100K account in drawdown and I came back, got to phase 2. Unfortunately, I didn't pass phase 2, but that's how good my risk management is. Are you able to spend 6 months in drawdown before even, because I know there's people who can't spend a week in drawdown because they risk so much. I don't risk a lot as well. So learn to risk very little. Break down your target into days. I mean, if the target is, let's say, 10% of $100,000, break that 10,000, break it up into trading days. There's 20 to 22 trading days. Break that up. That means every day you would need maybe $500 or $250, but break it up slowly. This is all it takes, slow, but I think we all want to make it quickly. So that's my advice: to risk too much with the hopes of getting a winning trade. That's how you lose your account. I really hope my journey with TFT goes a really long way. I think for now, I think I would probably be looking for like a six-figure account with TFT. That's what's on the cards.